What do you do if you've missed your court date in Virginia? Let me start out by saying that is going to depend on what county your case was in. Number one, you should always speak to an attorney if you've missed your court date so they can advise you on what you need to do. Some situations are going to be way more serious than other situations, so an attorney can help you figure out what's really going on and what steps you need to take. If you haven't spoken to an attorney, or you spoke to one and you're still trying to figure out what you need to do, the first thing is that if you had a traffic infraction or even a reckless driving or a drunk in public or something like that, it may be that the court asked the officer if it was okay to go ahead and convict you in your absence, which means they did a trial in the absence. The judge swore in, the officer asked about the facts of the situation, and then convicted you of the offense. If you realize you've missed your court date and it's within 10 days of that court date, you can go to the clerk's office and note an appeal. That's 10 calendar days, not 10 business days. So you can go and note your appeal, which will suspend that conviction as if it never happened, and your case will be heard what we call de novo, so heard new again for the first time up in the circuit court, where you can try to get a better outcome. If your case is outside of the 10 days, then one of the only things you can do is try to file a motion to reconsider. That is a motion that gets filed in the clerk's office. They'll put you in front of the judge, and the judge will get to hear whether or not your circumstances and your reasons surrounding why you missed court and why you're asking them to put it back on the docket are sufficient enough for the judge to do that. Some judges will do that for you, other judges will not. So don't count on the fact that a judge will grant your motion to reconsider. The best thing to do would be to appeal it right away if you missed your court date. If it's something more serious and the judge issued a show cause, that means there's not a bench warrant out for your arrest, but it means you have to come to court to show why you shouldn't get a penalty or a conviction or for failing to come to court as you were required to do. The judge, that'll be normally served on you by the sheriff's office, but there's no warrant out for your arrest for something like that. And they'll set a new court date for you to come and deal with that situation. If there's a bench warrant out for your arrest, if you're here in Virginia and you're in the county where you're charged and you're picked up, then you're going to appear in front of the magistrate and or judge, deal with a bond situation, and you'll get a new court date. If you're in a different county in Virginia, then they have to get you transported over to the county where you're charged, or sometimes they'll go ahead and consider a bond for you at that point. If you're outside of the state of Virginia and you missed your court date and there's a warrant out for your arrest, the only way that you can get that taken care of is to come and turn yourself in on it. You have to do that regardless of whether you're in Virginia in the county where you're charged or if you're in another state. You can't get your case taken care of without turning yourself in. And if you get picked up by police, they're going to bring you to court, or at least the judge or the magistrate will have to decide on a bond. If you're out of state, it's always good to make arrangements to turn yourself in as soon as you can. The sooner you turn yourself in, the better chance you have at getting a bond. You want to consult with an attorney and a bondsman before you turn yourself in, so you have those options available to you and know what to expect and can post a bond if you do get one. Once you turn yourself in, or once you're picked up by police, whichever one it is, you're going to have a court date set, and that is the hearing where your attorney can assist you in getting the case dismissed, resolving it with some kind of an agreement, or getting it set for a trial. You don't want that bench warrant or the capias for your arrest. They call them different things. You don't want that hanging over your head because, like I said, you can be picked up at any time, meaning it could be your work, your friend's house, when you're out driving and you have your light out on your vehicle and the officer stops you and sees that there's an outstanding warrant, or you could have police coming to your home, which you probably don't want. So make sure that if you have a warrant out for your arrest, that you get yourself turned in right away. Sometimes an attorney can even help in filing a motion to remove the bench warrant and explain what happened, and a judge could remove that so you're not facing additional charges for missing court. Because that's the other thing that can happen. Depending on the type of charge that you have, you could get a misdemeanor or a felony failure to appear for not showing up at your court date, and then you face jail and fines for those new charges in addition to whatever you were facing originally on the charges that were filed first against you. So anytime you miss your court date, talk to an attorney right away that's in the county where your charge is, so they can advise you on what you need to do, and then either go appeal it or get yourself turned in on it so you can get a court date and try to resolve it so it's not hanging over your head.